Hi students, welcome back to Wisdom Academy YouTube page. In the previous video, you have learnt about acceleration. I hope that you have solved questions based upon that and you have got some confidence in that. In today's class, I am going to talk about graph. Graph? It comes in math only, no? Yeah, it comes in math, but it also comes in physics. I said you in the beginning itself that the physics of 9th will start going along with math. It is a numerical type physics. So you must start relating mathematics along with physics. Only then you can learn it beautifully. So graph is a part where I have seen that students are confusing a lot. So you have to be very careful. You have to listen the video with full attention, and then only you will get an idea over what are the graphs and how to draw these graphs. If you fail in listening to the class properly, definitely you will struggle in these graphs in your 9th as well as in your 11th. So mind my words, understand this graph. I feel it is very interesting and very simple, but the students feel it is tough. So please pay attention. So we have three kinds of graph which can be drawn in this motion chapter. Though in your book only one graph is mentioned, but I am going to tell you about these three graphs. So graph is drawn between displacement and time. Graph is drawn between velocity and time. Graph is drawn between acceleration and time. So if I take displacement as x, if I write displacement as x, if I write velocity as v, and if I write acceleration as a, then there are three possibilities of graph, that is xt graph, vt graph and at graph. When I say xt graph, it means displacement time graph. When I say vt graph, it means velocity time graph. When I say at graph, it means acceleration time graph. Okay. So I have studied in maths that a graph is drawn on the x-axis and y-axis. This is known as x-axis. This is known as y-axis. I hope you are aware about this. So always remember, this time will lie on the x-axis. This time will lie on the x-axis. If displacement lies on y-axis, it is called as displacement time graph. If velocity lies on y-axis, it is called as velocity time graph. If acceleration lies on y-axis, it is called as acceleration time graph. So if graph drawn keeping time on the x-axis and velocity on the y-axis will be called as vt graph. Same way, if a graph drawn keeping acceleration on the y-axis, time on the x-axis, called as at graph. I hope you understood what is xt, vt and at graph. Right. Now you must know what these graphs inform us. So before going into that, or let me tell you that, then I will tell you what is the meaning of the quantities. So xt, vt and at, of all these three graphs, actually I have three quantities to be talked about. Okay. So I mean not three, let me write it as two quantities itself. Two quantities that I want to talk about. One thing is about the slope and one thing is about the area under curve. It is going little bit like a hi-fi. You may feel these things are not given in book, but mind my words, if you understand this, then you can understand the next part of this chapter, that is graphical representation of equations of motion, very easily. And remember that these things will also come in 11th standard. Learn it now, enjoy in 11th. Okay. So suppose remember that the slope of xt graph will give you velocity. It gives the velocity. Slope of vt graph gives you acceleration. Whereas slope of at graphs actually does not give any information. It is called as jerk, but not required for your class. So no information. Area under xt graph does not give any information. Area under vt graph gives the value of displacement, and area under at graph gives the value of change in velocity. So if you want to remember this, it's very simple. See, slope, it starts like this. Displacement time graph, it gives velocity. Vt graph, it gives acceleration. Nothing is there in front of at, so nothing. No information. If I go on area, it is opposite. So xt graph, nothing is before this, so cross. If it is vt graph, before this x is there, so I have put x. And at graph, Before this V is there, so I have put V. This is the most simplest method of how you can remember what would be lying in this part and this part. So once again I am saying the slope of xt graph gives velocity, slope of AT graph, VT graph gives acceleration, and slope of AT graph does not give any information. Same way, area under the curve of xt graph gives no information, area under the curve of VT graph gives displacement, area of AT graph gives velocity, right? Now you may be thinking, what is this slope and what is this area under the curve? Fine. So suppose any curve is drawn on this. I am drawing a very basic curve, a straight line. So this straight line, when I say slope of this line, it means how much angle it is inclined. So I should, or I will say in a more simpler word, that if you want to find a slope of this line can be written as, suppose I have taken one point here, okay, and one point here. I need 2 points on this line. This point, the coordinates on the y-axis and x-axis I will find. So for this, first, this is the first point, so I will write x coordinate as x1, y coordinate as y1. If this is second point, it will be x2 and this will be y2. So now the slope of this line will be equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Slope will be y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. This is the meaning of slope. Remember this. So slope means intercept of y-axis by intercept of x-axis. When I say intercept, it means this distance from here to here and again from here to here. So, sir, is there any specific point I should take? You can take any point. You are free to take any point. Someone says, sir, I will take starting point, I will take ending point. Yeah, free, you can take. There's nothing wrong in that. You can take any 2 points on the line, just draw like this, find these points and divide them like this, you will get the slope. For example, if I have a curve and I have like this line, like this, and I have here the little point as 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and here also I have 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. I just take 2 points. One point I have taken here. So this point, if I represent like this, and one point I have taken here like this. So now I know slope how to find. What will be slope of this? Slope will be y2 minus y1. I know that formula, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So y2 is 3, y1 is 1. So I will write 3 minus 1. Here again 3, here again 1. So 3 minus 1. So 2 by 2. Slope here is 1. Remember this. So very simple how to find the slope. Slope means y-intercept by x-intercept. Okay, I hope you have understood. Second thing is area under the curve. So area under the curve is as simple as possible. So suppose there is a curve like this, you just find what is the area under this portion. This will give you the required quantity. For example, area under the curve of VT graph gives you displacement. So suppose there is a graph drawn like this and they have told what is the displacement of this body. Nothing to do, just draw one line here and find this area of triangle, you will get the displacement of the body. Suppose some graph is drawn like this, then find this area completely, divide in 2 parts. This is one rectangle, this is one triangle and is another rectangle or square. Find this area plus this area plus this area, you will get the total displacement of the body. So very simple to find displacement of any VT graph, find the area under the curve. Okay, some students are more curious. What they are asking? They are asking, sir, if I am drawing a curve like this and my graph is starting like this, ending like this and going like this. These students will go to IIT. So what the students are asking, sir, I have taken on even x-axis, I have taken on y-axis, I have taken negative y-axis also. Now what will happen? How to find the area? Yeah, you can find the area. Why not? This area and this area. Sir, will I take this area as negative or positive? Yes, you are becoming intelligent. But this area, see, it is positive area. This area is negative area. So when you add these two area, how will you add? Suppose this area comes to be 5 units. This area comes to be 2 units. So you will write 5 minus 2, answer will be 3. So you will take the signs into position. If you take the signs into account, this plus sign and minus sign, then find the area under the curve, you will get the value of displacement. I know I have gone 2 levels above, and you will say, some people may be saying, what he is teaching, these things are required for 9th. Maybe not much required for 9th, but I am telling you once again, when I start the equations of motion by graphical method, if you are failing in understanding whatever I have talked now, you will finally mug up the derivation and go and write the examination. And my dear students, mugging up is never a solution of your life. You must understand things and then do it. Then you will start enjoying the studies. The day you start to mug up and vomit in the paper, you will lose interest in the subject. So the first thing you should learn in life is start understanding why I am doing this. Science is all about understanding. Until you start understanding it, it will always be boring. So remember this, that these are the concepts which are required to build the knowledge of graph. So now I have told you about the graph, and I have drawn 3 graphs here. One thing is displacement time graph, velocity time graph, acceleration time graph, and all these graphs I have told you what the slopes will give, what the area under the curve will give. I told you what is the meaning of area under the curve. I told you what is the meaning of slope of the curve. Now when you have learned about the graphs, let us see 2 questions based upon that. The first question is, you have to find, in both the questions you have to find the displacement of the object from the following graphs. So how to find a displacement from these graphs? I told you, if it is a velocity time graph, find the area under the curve, you will be able to get the displacement. So for finding the area under the graph, see this, let us solve the first question. In the first question, this is the graph. So what is the area? See, this is the area, this is the area, this is the area, and this is the area, isn't it? Let us try to find this area. What is this dimension? 4 minus 2, this is 2. What is this dimension? From this is 0 point, from 0 to 2, this is also 2. So the area for this will be 2 cross 2, 4, isn't it? Right, here you see the area, here again 2, here again 4, but it is minus 4. So minus 4 on this side, 2 on this side, 4 2s are 8, so minus 8. Okay. What about this? This side is again 2, and this side is 6. So 2 into 6, this is 12. And this side is 2, this side is again minus 2. So minus 2 and 2 gives minus 4. So what is the displacement I told you? Add everything. So very simple question. Displacement, if you want to find, that will be equal to 4 minus 8 plus 12 minus 4. This 4 gets cancelled, 12 minus 8 is 4. Displacement is 4 meter, isn't it? So you saw the how from a graph we can find a displacement. Once again, the second question. The second question, what is the graph? Only from here to here. So to find displacement, find the area under the graph. So draw like this line, and this, now this is the trapezium. So I can divide into 2 parts. One thing is rectangle and one thing is a triangle. So some people who are very intelligent, they will say, sir, I will directly use trapezium formula. Please go ahead, you can use, you will get the same answer. This is 5, this is 4, 5 4s are 20. So this area is 20. This is a triangle, so I will use the formula half into base into height. So base is 4 and height is 10. See this height, 15 minus 5, it is 10. So area is half into base is 4 into height is 10. So it is 20. So again this thing is also 20 units. So 20 plus 20, it is 40. So what is the displacement? 40 meters. Displacement in this case is 20 plus 20, that is equal to 40 minutes. So I hope that you have understood how from the graph very conveniently you can get the displacement if it is a VT graph. So you can itself draw various graphs like this and try to find the displacement by using VT graph, right? So in today's class we have learned about graphs, all these 3 kinds of graph, and how the area under the graph of VT gives the value of displacement. So in the coming class, that is the next video, I will be talking about the equations of motion, and I will derive them by using graphical method. Till then, keep on liking the videos, subscribe our channel and share with the friends. Thank you.